Welcome to Abode with After, the podcast where we step inside real homes and uncover the stories behind the renovations. I'm your host and interior designer Ashley, and I'm speaking with homeowners and industry experts about what it really takes to transform a house. Hi and welcome back to another episode of Abode with After. Today I'm joined by a very familiar face. Hi Alex. Alex is from Smartwood Flooring and he has done work in my own home, my new home that's currently being renovated, and my previous home as well. So we've crossed paths quite a lot over the past few years. So I'll just pass it over to you. Give us a little introduction about who you are and what you do.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Firstly, obviously, I'm Alex and I own Smartwood Flooring, and we specialise in engineered flooring, LVT flooring, sanding and restoration. We'll just come in and just do your floors for you. So yeah, it's a very short one. Yeah, it's very short.
Yeah. So tell me a bit about Smartwood, because I know that you do flooring slightly different from other companies, but maybe people listening don't know exactly what you do. So what kind of projects do you usually work on, and in terms of the supply and the quality of the wood?
So I would say that we would do type of high-end clients and anyone that does restoration works. So we have a lot of different people that come in. So sometimes some people like the sustainability of wanting to repurpose their own floors. So we'll take their carpet up or take their original floor up and we'll sand the floors completely back down. And then obviously we'll finish them. And then we'll have some people that want something that's like a man-made product, which is an LVT product, which is essentially a plastic floor. And then you've got your natural finishes, which is your engineered or your solids.
Mm-hmm. So let's just talk about the LVT one, because I think that's what I've got, the glue down, which I think is quite a modern way. I don't know if it's modern or just not used as much, because click seems to be what people talk about. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think in our industry, in the flooring industry, you have the LVT. You have two types. You have your click type, and then you have your glue down type. So your click type is basically DIY people. So that was essentially the glue down was first. Came out first, but you had to go and do your courses before any of the suppliers would then supply you with the product. So then, but they were finding obviously the LVT was becoming more and more popular because it is man-made and it is plastic. It's essentially it's everything that you're looking for a floor. So if you got pets, then it's fine for pets because it's not going to scratch the floor. If if you want to mop your floor, then that's fine. It's essentially waterproof. So it's given a lot of value to the customer. So that's why when the glue down came out, it became really popular, and they didn't have anything for the DIY side of things. So that's when the click vinyl came out, because obviously it's essentially just a click together. And it's just super easy to put together, but it's quite expensive for what it is. And obviously you have to make sure your floor is completely flat. So if your floor is not flat, then obviously you have to have a lot of you have to put prep work down or use prep work and stuff like that. So and then obviously with your glue down, it's essentially do the prep work as well. So both products will probably need prep work, and then I tend to find over time your floor, because your click vinyl isn't glued, if you've got a bounce or anything like that, it'll tend to break your tongues and it all come apart. But if you're looking for something like you were selling your house and we needed a quick turnaround, we would put a click vinyl back down again. You could sell the house, and then obviously you haven't put that much money into it.
I hope the new owners aren't listening to that.
Yeah, but then you'll tend to find a really nice floor. Yeah, it was a nice floor. But you'll tend to find that the new people that will come into the house might not like that floor. And it was grey. And you and me both know that grey is coming out of fashion now. It's all like the neutral colours that are coming in. So, you know, it does, I guess the click vinyl has its perks for that reason, as obviously the glue down is literally, if that's going to be your forever home and you don't particularly want to, if you don't want to take the floor up every 5 years or whatever, then the glue down system is great. If you do scratch the floor, then you just heat that plank up and you pull it back and then you put a new one down. There's no drama. As the click is, there's so much drama. With the clicks, you have to re-click it, like retake the floor back up and then refit it, and then the tongues and grooves don't go back together again. But yeah, I think it's in the flooring industry, there's always like, there's like 50% of people loves click vinyl, and then the other 50 won't even touch it. And I think I just don't even want to touch it.
Yeah,
I just leave it for the DIYers.
I do find, because obviously I've had both now, so I had the click in the last home, the glue down this time. Now having living with the glue down upstairs only, 'cause downstairs plywood. I do like it. It feels slightly different under feet, I think, because it is glued down and there's no, like, you can't feel the gaps in between. Obviously with the click you still kind of had that groove. Yeah, you just don't have that.
Bevel edged.
And I do like it. And again, obviously we have dogs and pets, and the full upstairs is wooded. We don't have carpets or anything like that. It just doesn't work for us, unfortunately, with the dogs. But now having it, it does wash up really well and it's quite nice. Yeah. And we even pre-bought our flooring for downstairs that will probably get stocked around. Alex is like, get this out of my storage.
I'm like, get it out. It's like right at the back at the moment.
I might ask for it tomorrow.
I'm going to have to empty my whole lock-off out just to get to it.
So we kind of, I think that's like really good to share, because obviously unless you're going through it, you don't know about the click or the glue, and I think right now online everybody's got click, so people might not even know that there's actually glue available. And then obviously the other option is getting actual hardwood installed, so that is, like you said, going back down to your own planks if they're suitable, but then they might choose to get wood installed. We actually did inquire about the wood, but it just
sometimes the wood's just
it looked really nice, but we couldn't.
But then obviously you've got a German Shepherd, so downstairs it wouldn't be viable to have that, because
or upstairs.
Or upstairs, because obviously it'll just get scratched. And what you're spending that money on, it'll be it for you, and especially, you know, because you were saying in one of your other podcasts that you were thinking in your future that you wanted to have children. So again, that'll be great to have obviously for little ones walking around and spilling stuff and like getting crayons out and literally you just get
not in my house.
No.
But I get it. And then obviously it's when you put a floor down, you want to do it once and forget about it, don't you? So what's the sanding scenario like? Because it's something that I've not actually dealt with personally, but I see you're doing loads of it.
Yeah, so sanding tends to be, I would say, is my bread and butter for most of it. So a lot of the time, a lot of people would have had engineered flooring, or they would have had pine floorboards. So we would just go in and we would just sand their engineered and then bring it back to life again. So like when you're looking at engineered and inquiring new, then obviously you would always make sure that you have a good wear layer for your engineers, so in the future again you can then sand them back down. So the sanding consists of basically me going over, if it was, there's two different, now there is two different types that I would say. So I would have, if I was to do a pine floorboards, I would get my belt sander out, I would go across it and then on a diagonal, and then I would 40, 60, 80 it on a grit, and then I would come up in high grits, and that makes the floor, so you're like taking everything completely off the floor and going back down to like the natural wood of the floor. And then once that comes up in in grits, it goes really smooth. And then obviously I would then finish that floor, which would be, sometimes it could be an oil finish, or it could be a seal base finished. So a seal base.
That's quite good for a client who has, I suppose, the luxury of really nice floorboards to be done, but they might be stained right now, and I'm not even going to say a walnut because that's in, but like the darker than a like ready walnut that you had, and maybe it's a bit outdated, so they can get it sanded and then re-stained in something a bit more current.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
it's a good way to change the vibe of the room.
Yeah, for sure. Like, and again, if someone had moved in and doesn't like that particular floor, then you would just sand it back and then obviously just put whatever you want on.
What happens if they have a really nice floor, but then maybe some of the floorboards look
Bit naff. Like, well,
not
again,
naff, but maybe like just not in good condition. Like, can you fix them?
So 9 times out of 10, my pet hate is electricians or plumbers, just because they come in and they hack away at the floor. Hack away at the floor. So what we would do in that scenario is we would take up a section of the floor and we would do something that's called a re-stagger. So obviously you're taking up that floor, or you're taking up the broken bits and then you're refitting new ones in. If it was an engineered, I've literally just done a job for a guy who basically had some patio doors and they leaked, and he had engineered floor and it literally burst the whole floor underneath. So we came in, took up the floor, and then we were supplied new floor to go down, sand it all, and then obviously just to blend it all back in, sand it, and then recoat it, and then you would never know, and that saved him having to get a whole new floor again. So
that's quite. It just shows where things can go wrong, and like little seeps, like with water and things. That. One thing we just had a new front door fitted today, and they were asking us about like, do we know what's going down after, because like the height of the trim for when you walk in, because I think they'd had a door previously and I don't know, the client had put then tiles down after it and the door wouldn't open because it was like just banging into them. So I was like, I don't actually know what we're putting down. Just give me a big fat ledge.
That's actually really common. I did a job last week for a customer, and she was meant to give birth for the week that we were there. And when I went to see it, they were having herringbone, and right by, they got like bifolding doors, and right by, they're like sliding doors, but they're like the whole width of the back end of the extension. And literally the doors, where the doors sat, the customer wanted a 22mm board to go in. And then when I turned up, I said to him, like, you can't have a 22mm because where the doors run along, it's so close that by the time I put my glue down, you're not going to have enough for the doors to come across. So if I hadn't have gone and done a site visit or anything like that, the guy would have got 22mm flooring, and then the doors wouldn't be able to open. So in the end, he ended up getting a 15mm board as well.
Well, does that make any difference, that 7mm?
No, not fitting. It depends on how it's fitted.
Why would somebody really want the 22 over the...
So in this scenario, it wasn't too much of a problem because the wear layer wasn't. They were both exactly the same. So I said to him, "Are you only buying like essentially the back of it? So that's like plywood." I was like, "You're literally buying an extra 7mm in plywood when we're putting down a 9mm. Sorry, no, he put down a 22mm chipboard." So I was like, "You don't need anything too heavy because he's leveled everything off." So then I would then come straight off of his chipboard straight onto the floor. So the only time that you would get a 22mm, it's just down to customers' preference. Unless the wear layer is different. So that's like the actual oak on top. If that's slightly different, then you're getting your money's worth. But if it's the same size, then what you're essentially buying is the oak on top. Is not there's no difference to it.
Yeah. So you mentioned herringbone there, so let's get into the
Oh God, everyone wants herringbone.
Do you like fitting herringbone?
If you would have asked me 2 years ago, I was I love herring.
I had herringbone in my last house and half of it was in the front garden. I was like, I feel like, what's that all doing out there? So I went for a plank this time.
Yeah, everyone.
I'm trying to push plank onto people, but I think it looks timeless.
I think
herringbone's always...
herringbone is literally, I don't think it will ever go out of fashion.
No. I like the herringbone if it's like very traditional, like the wood, and it's the very small rectangles. Obviously, like the click comes in the large panels, like what I had at the last house. But when you see it more traditional, that looks really nice.
Yeah, for definite. I think as well, herringbone is great and it does look good and it looks amazing with a border and also an inlay. It looks amazing. Again, it's just expensive to do because of the time that takes to do it and offcuts and things like that. But I think there's a new wave of versatile tiles coming in, which is like the funky patterns coming in, like the basket weave and stuff like that.
Yeah, is this like more like tile placements of wood flooring or
no? So you can, so if you get it in engineered, it comes in a big square plank. But if you get it in LVT, it comes individually. So then you put all the pieces together and then that makes the pattern. Like, it tends to be like, at the moment I'm seeing a lot of like the basket weave going on, which is I love that pattern. I think it's amazing. Yeah,
something a wee bit different.
Yeah,
I think the herringbone is right in the right places, but if the scale of the like living room things aren't enough to take it, I think it can look a bit. But then saying that, because people, not everybody obviously is wanting a bit more kind of neutral, minimally look, then they can go a bit bolder with their floor.
Yeah.
But I think go bold everywhere else.
Yeah.
Just have a nice...
Well, I got black and white tiles in my bathroom.
Yeah, so, nice.
Yeah.
And then what do you think about, like, what kind of shades have you been fitting recently? Because I think there's... definitely, I've been specking a lot of walnut stuff.
Okay.
And then I've also been specking more like the wood in my house, kind of like
the Scandi look.
It's like Scandi, but it's still warm. It's not like a cold Scandi.
Yeah.
So what have you been?
I would say,
because that will cover your staining and things like that as well.
Yeah. So staining and sanding wise, 9 times out of 10, a lot of people like a natural finish.
Just like, can you do just like a clear gloss?
Yeah. So a natural finish, and then there was a point where we were going through having like whitener put in. To their seal, so that would give...
like bleaching it so it's more, it's like Scandi?
It's not, so it doesn't bleach. Yeah, it's more like a whitewash.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, so, but it's really, really subtle.
I would have that downstairs.
Yeah, so so you'd only notice it. What we would put like 3 coats on before you could really, really notice it. So it is really subtle. With LVT, I'm looking, I would say more like the oaky, like a really light oak at the moment. And there, when people are like, oh, I love oak, it's like it comes in so many different shades, but it tends to be the really light oak at the moment that's coming in. And then the engineered, I would say I've done a lot of natural finishes again, and I did another job which was like it was like a walnut colour right through.
Quite like the walnut.
Yeah, like a really dark board. Yeah. So I guess it does change from, I never really thought of it, to looking at how things change from the sanding to the engineered. I've always just kind of just whatever. Whatever the customer says, because I get all the time. It's like, what do you think? And I was like, I don't have a say in this. That's your job. I was like, I don't know. I just come fit.
That's a hard thing though, because you get to say that. But then even when clients ask what I think about it, it's still not my choice.
Yeah.
So I sometimes say that, but in a different way, because obviously if I
Do you not like just gear them up and just be like, this one?
Well, I would obviously have the flooring next to other things like colours and maybe like a paper that we're using.
Yeah.
Or if it's a kitchen, like this is the worktop. So how does it match everything else rather than just looking at flooring as, you know, an individual choice? It needs to, if I was doing somebody's floor, it would be part of something else. You know,
Like the kitchen.
They're not just going to get me in to choose their floor colour. You know what I mean? Like, that's your job.
Yeah, true that.
So it would be part of something else. So I feel like if they ask, obviously they do ask what my opinion is. It's never just like, obviously I can say if I really like something or if I don't, but that's my opinion. So it would be, well, does it go with everything else? So it's a very long-winded answer to actually get to. But we need to explain why we're making choices for the client and not because I like them or don't. Because, you know, people could probably look at my house and be like, I don't like that, or I wouldn't have that, or I love that. Yeah. And that's okay because that's for me.
Yeah, because I get that all the time, and I always say to my customers, it's just down to personal preference.
Yeah.
Like, I can tell you that, you know, the lighter that you go, the bigger that it makes the space feel. Let's see. I'm now doing and then obviously the darker, the enclosed it feels. Yeah. So, you know, the way that the boards go, if they run towards the light, then it's giving it like
the reflection.
Yeah.
I've been putting a lot of boards on a diagonal now because I feel like it's a less busy compromise of herringbone. Yeah. But you still have the border.
Especially in a small space.
I really like it.
Yeah.
So it makes the space look longer because the what would you call them? The planks are going towards like a corner, like a direction. Nice. And then they guide your eye of where to look in the room because you kind of subconsciously, your eyes are being like drawn to the way the floor goes. Yeah.
See, that's what I always say to customers. That will draw your light. Yeah. So, like, for me, obviously, I would say to customer, if you're walking into somewhere, that's the direction
and that's really hard as well when your flooring goes into a different space because then it's like obviously you would have it long ways going through your hallway, but then it might lead into your kitchen, and then
it might not look the right way. It might
look like it's like horizontal because of your units. Yeah. But then it just has to be that way because of the hole. It's really hard.
But if you have LVC, you can just change it.
Yeah, put a border in and then switch it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, true.
See? So there's always a way around it with LVT, especially the glue down, because you get so much variety with it. Because you could do that. You could do it one way and then change it and not have sometimes you have like the door bar and stuff that goes in.
I don't have a single door bar.
You don't.
I know, because I made sure the flows through.
Yeah, and that's a lot of customers hate having door bars because they're like, I don't want when they're hoovering and they don't want like their hoover to catch on it. They just want to walk straight through and don't have to have a seamless thing. Yeah. And I think you see it a lot on TV programs like the home renovations that everything flows through. So I think
it's a visual thing though, because if there's a bar there, you're visually like, there's another room. Yeah. And like a threshold basically. But when it's not there, it makes everything feel bigger. It makes the hallway feel like less closed in. Yeah. Because it just flows into every other space. Because obviously, like you've done my house, but up the stairs there's quite a lot of doors. Yeah. So if I was to have a threshold on every single one of them, it would look like the hallway's literally being like trapped in. Yeah. But I feel like
I think you've only got door, if I remember rightly.
I've got 7 doors.
But you only have 2 door bars. One for each bathroom.
Yeah, another one's also the ensuite, so you don't actually see. Yeah.
Because you got the enclosed.
Yeah, so you don't actually see the ones at all. And I don't have door bars on them either.
Still.
That's one of the jobs. It's like, I don't know when that's going to happen.
And then when I come round and fit downstairs, I'll put the door bars on.
2028 or something. I'm kind of a bit like when we've got the new front door on, I'm a bit like, can we actually just get on with some things? Nice. So we actually ripped up the flooring in the living room. Well, I ripped it up because I was like, I'm just going to take this up. But then got to the front door, I was like, I'll just leave it here until we get the new front door and then I can take it out because I can't be bothered carrying it all round the back. So I had it all stacked up against the front door. And obviously the guy came to do the front door, so then I had to, Chris then just chucked it all into the living room then I was like, no, I'm trying to get it out. Like, don't put it back in.
Yeah.
So it's in a big pile now, but hopefully by the end of the week it will be away and we can.
How are you finding being in a renovation? Well,
I feel like obviously our kitchen's not, so we literally don't use the living room. That's like a garage.
Oh, okay. But you got a garage. Indoor garage.
It's like an indoor garage because it's filled with like just like things that you kind of use more regularly, a bit of filler, a bit of paint, like things that I'm trying to tick off wee jobs.
Oh, okay.
So we basically don't use the living room at all. We don't use downstairs toilet. So we kind of like come down the stairs, just cut off, that bit's cut off from our life.
Don't look at it.
Just don't look at it. And then obviously our kitchen and dining room's kind of like, it's not fresh looking, but it's clean and it's tidy and it's kind of been fine. So, but I feel like because it's in summer now, we've been sitting out the back and things like that, and we've not really thought about it. But I think obviously when Chris is home for, let's say, 4 weeks, because obviously he works away, I feel like I'm a bit in a flat and we're all sitting up in the bedroom with the dogs and that, and you're a bit like, I wish I had a living room.
Yeah, I bet.
I feel a bit like a child, like running back upstairs. You know what I mean?
So what's your subfloor like?
What?
Downstairs?
I think it's
Plywood.
It's just the same as what was up.
Oh, okay, cool.
So it'll just be ply.
Yeah, great.
But I'm kind of undecided on what to do because obviously I pre-purchased the flooring because I do actually love it. I'm really happy with it.
Yeah.
And then I initially wanted the checkers for the hallway and things like that. And now I'm just not sure because I feel like everybody's got them.
So,
So I'm maybe thinking of something different for that. But I don't know yet. I'll need to see. I'm not against that.
I'd have to come round with some samples.
Yeah, I just feel like I started designing my small bathroom, and I don't know if the checkers go with it.
Well, I like trots.
It's a bit like med vibes. So
Nice.
I went to Ibiza in April now. I've redesigned my full downstairs because I want to feel like I'm there all the time.
Well, you might as well.
Yeah.
Now you got the time to do it.
I know. Anyway, back to flooring. Enough in my house. It's nothing's happening. So let's go back to a bit of flooring. So obviously I feel like you came on at the start and you were like, oh, I just lay flooring, but I take it as obviously not as simple as that. And there's a difference between doing, I suppose, like a really good job and a really bad job. So what are some things that maybe you've came across that like kind of leave it to the professionals, shall we say?
So one of the things is the prep work. If a customer doesn't really know what they're doing, then I would definitely leave that for the professionals to do. If you've got a concrete base subfloor, then you would need to check that for moisture that's trapped inside the slab before you put anything down, which again a customer wouldn't have the tools or the knowledge or anything to know how to test that. And so obviously to get a professional in, you might need some DPM, like obviously put some DPM down.
What's DPM?
So DPM is a damp, sorry, I just assume that everyone knows that. It's DPM.
Normal people who don't know what DPM is.
I know, it's bizarre. So a DPM is a damp membrane. So it's basically essentially putting a film of plastic over your concrete. So when the moisture tries to escape, it comes up and then goes back down and then comes up and then it kind of just slowly evaporates inside the slab, instead of if you were trying to put down a LVT or engineered floor, then and you don't put any DPM barriers down, then all that will do is that moisture will come out and then it will soak into your floor, and it will basically either, one, if you've got LVT, you're going to need to screed the floor, which is like a really thin concrete base that you put over. It will blow that and it will pop it all up and it will just be a terrible job, and that will then essentially make your floor come up. And then if you've got engineered, then what it will do is it will cup, it will expand, you'll have terrible time with expansion gaps and things like that. So these are essential.
Sounds like a horror.
It is because it's like if one of those goes wrong, then I think people forget that a floor is essentially like a whole ground floor.
Yeah, that's a large surface.
That's thousands of pounds worth of damage.
Yeah.
Like that could be done. So if you've not done anything correct, I think I just did a TikTok on it. If you haven't checked for these problem or like for damp or anything like that, then obviously your floor's just gonna fail straight away. And then obviously you can't go back to the manufacturer and be like, oh, by the way, because they're just going to be like, well, you haven't done the right, because they'll ask you what was the moisture content, the RH percentage and things like that. And so if you can't give those answers to the manufacturer, they'll be like, well, that's not us, that's on you. And then the other one would be underfloor heating.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that, because people that have came on the podcast have said that they are really glad that they've got it. So that actually we're thinking about it now because of the advice given. Or people that have came on and said that they didn't get it and they actually regret it.
Yeah.
So I'd like to know more about how that works with
the flooring. So
and
I want to know now. So obviously I don't do the underfloor heating, but obviously the prep work that would need to go with that is we would liaison with the builder. So say for instance you have electric and then you have your water side. I
was thinking that the water, because electric's cheaper to set up but more to run.
Yeah.
And then I feel like water's dearer to set up, but then it's easier to run.
Yeah. So what they would do, as what I can remember, is that the builder would come in. They would obviously, I'm pretty sure that you could put it either in like this special styrofoam, and then they clip it in, and then we would then come in. We would then prime your floor. So the primer essentially makes the floor sticky. So when we put the screed down, that will stick to the styrofoam. Okay. I think it's like styrofoam or plasticky type thing.
It's something so that the pipe doesn't move at all.
Yeah, that's right.
And if not that it would leak, but if it does, it doesn't pour. It doesn't affect any other.
Yeah. So that screed that we put on has to be around about 9mm thick, because it needs to cover the pipes, but also it needs to be far enough away from your actual floor itself so that the pipes don't burn the floor. So what I tend to normally do is I would phone my rep for my screening company, and then they would come in and they would then say you would need to do this. Obviously put the primer down, screed the floor. They would tell me exactly what products to use, and they basically guarantee that like the what I put down and how I do it, I can then give that confidence to the customer to say, well, I've just brought in my own rep to say this is what I need to do. Yeah. This is what I'm confident, 100% certain. And then basically once your screed's on, we would then obviously like go over and do like a really fine grind of the floor, and that takes any latents off and things like that. So
I like what you said there about the rep, because like I work with reps as well, and I think, and I've had this conversation on the podcast before, like sometimes it's okay when you don't know, because you just need to know somebody who does. And I actually been able to go back to certain people and seek the right advice. Like I'm quite doing it a lot with commercial projects, with fabrics and all that. And I need them to advise me on like, can it be treated or is it already and things.
I normally say to rep, I normally go to my rep screeding wise, if just purely for the underfloor heating, because that it's such a huge it's so difficult to get right.
It's and like two installations and the one layer.
But we also have to make sure that what we're doing is 100% correct, because it's not just the floor itself. You got the under the pipes and everything like that. If you get that wrong, then it's a huge error. Yeah, it's not just a small one. So I would rather turn around to my customers and say, like, I'm just going to bring my rep in. He's going to tell me exactly what I need to do. Even though I know what I need to do, but for my own peace of mind, when you're spending like thousands of pounds, that's one thing that I would want to 100% get right.
Are you seeing underfloor heating becoming more popular, or more people asking about it now?
So I reckon down south is like a huge thing, and it's just slowly creeping up in Scotland. Yeah, I would say.
I think it's also for say like a visual perspective, because people can then get rid of the radiators and actually have their walls back. Yeah, which is what I've seen a few people. I've been working with a couple of people who are going for it. I think for me, it's not really. I don't need to know about it. I just need to know that there's not a radiator on the wall, so I can do something else there, kind of thing. But it is an option that they're being drawn to now, and less dust. It's all the dust that comes with radiators and things like that as well.
But then with you just have to make sure. I don't think you would have it ever have your heating up that high, but obviously if you have engineered, you can only have it up to 27. Like the actual pipes, it can only go up to 27.
Well, my gran wouldn't be able to have it.
So
she's a 32, I think.
Yeah, so I'm not sure with the winter whether or not it would be. I don't know how it would cope, because it's you have to have it on for so long
to actually heat up.
Yeah,
but then would it not just sit at like a
room temperature,
like a low ticking over kind of heat over the winter, and it would just be like constant.
Yeah.
But you need to keep it quite low if it was on for so long, because then it would just overheat the room, wouldn't it?
I guess it would just, because obviously it's got to go through so much to obviously heat it up. So I would worry if you got rid of your radiators. Yeah. That's the only thing
That's
I
the whole
would
purpose of doing it. And I'm not sure I'll need to get a plumber on and ask them.
They would be able to tell you the heat values.
I am
and stuff.
thinking about it. And then obviously like energy efficient homes and stuff, but that's like a full other subject really, isn't it? Yeah. So I've seen that you've been put up as well for an award recently. So what can you tell us about that?
So the National Flooring Awards is basically an award. So I put in for the the installation of the year.
What was the other categories?
So it's large.
How many categories of flooring?
Yeah, I know, right? So there's carpets. There's large retail. There's small retail, commercial. What else is there? Social media. There's installer of the year. I think there's like 12 categories.
Yeah. So what one are you up for?
Installer of the year.
Installer of the year.
Yeah.
So how does that work? Do you need to send in like portfolio photos?
Yeah.
Or how does the process of that work?
It's a very long-winded process. Yeah, it took me about 2 to 3 days to fill it out. So what they do is you put in for the job that you think you've done right. You have to prove like all your techniques of your flooring, all your prep work techniques, obviously the floor itself. So the one that I put in was for a job over in where is it? I can't remember where it was. It's over in Ayr somewhere. And the guy, Mark, had a hallway done. We done his whole flat, but the hallway, he was so particular on what he knew exactly what he wanted. And so it was black and white tiles. It was the J2 Burford tiles.
You need to show me them.
Yeah. So it's like a funky, it's like a Victorian type style, like black and white, and then it had a border and stuff like that, and it looked really,
like
really
thinner,
nice. Yeah,
like thinner diamonds.
That's right.
Like
yeah,
smaller ones.
That's it. And I looked back and I was like, I did a good job on that, and I did a good job on that.
That's
good. So I know, right? So. There's not very often that you say that, but I knew.
Oh god.
Yeah, I was like, we're going in for that one.
Yeah.
So we went in for it, and they email you back and say, you're either in or you're out, kind of thing. So that goes. So you do all these. It's like 10 questions I think they have to offer, and then obviously your social medias, and you have to get clients. Have to write you a testimonial and stuff like that. You have to do.
So how did
before.
the client feel about that? Like their home going in? Because obviously I assume you need to approach them and say, like, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
You know?
So when I spoke to Mark about it, I said, "What do you think?" And he said, "Go for it." He was like, he was so happy with the floor. He said, "I don't understand why you wouldn't go for it." So, and he would always say like, and he, when we left that job, he gave us like a thank you card, and it was so lovely. It was so nice, and it's not very often that you get given a card, like a thank you card. And it was like, "Oh, thank you so much for like an amazing job. You know, if I could pay you more, I would," because he gave us a really good tip as well. So, and you don't get that very often either. So so it was actually it was really nice. So I went back and said to Mark, like, "Oh, would you mind me coming over and just getting better photos?" Because when I did the job, he hadn't painted. He still had his downstairs bathroom to go in and things like that. So yes, I'll show you the pictures of that because you'll really like that. It's like his bathroom was like really, it's like a really like masculine type. It's like really dark burgundy red.
I knew you were going to say red there.
Yeah,
but
red.
The checkered tiles. I just knew it.
Yeah. So so he just went back and took some more photos and videos and stuff, and then we sent that all through, and then they look through everything, and then they get rid of some people, and then obviously they emailed me and said, "Congratulations, out of hundreds of people, or thousands, I don't know. It could be 10. Who knows? It could be someone else." I've been shortlisted.
That's amazing though.
So yeah. So
and it's nice that like this story's not just about how good a job you've done. It's probably actually because you had a good relationship with the client, and that's what's made it worthwhile. Yeah. Like because you're pitching that as well as not just what the work. Basically there's that kind of client story to go along with it. Yeah,
so now that will go up against judges. So
yeah,
judges.
How long's the next process, and when will we find out if you're national flooring specialist of the year 2026? Manifest it by saying it on here.
It's happening in Harrogate in September.
So do you go down there then?
Yeah.
Is Tanya going with you?
Yeah.
Nice.
And then I got my sister and her partner coming as well.
Yeah, amazing.
So the four of us are going to go and that. So
make a night of it.
Yeah, and then obviously they got the flooring show at the same time. So
so a full flooring business.
Yeah, I know, right? it's like the geekiest thing ever.
That's so funny. I suppose actually I just want to give a quick mention to Tanya because I just mentioned earlier she's the bread and butter.
She is
on the phone.
She's the backbone. She's so the backbone of the company now. I'm just the face now at this point.
Just the flora.
I'm just the flora, and she just tells me what to do. Yeah. Now.
So you're a team of 2, 3.
Team of 3 now. Yeah. Because Brandon's back.
And you've got Brandon working on the tools with you.
Yeah.
What's the next plans for Smartwood? Are you just keeping it the way it's going, or
no? We got big plans. Yeah, so we are hoping to open up a warehouse / showroom.
Amazing.
Yeah, so that's no, it'd definitely be in Kilwinning somewhere. Maybe. Is there
time scales or anything, or is that just over?
Oh yeah, we have. Hopefully by the end of the year, if not the beginning of next year, amazing. At least have some kind of premises,
some type of base.
Yeah, and then obviously we'll look at maybe that year of opening the showroom. But yeah, that's the plan.
And is Tanya going to then work from the showroom, or how would that go?
So we were hoping to have like a hybrid
appointment showroom, kind of thing.
Because then I feel like when it's hybrid or only open for like consultations and stuff, then it's like very like you can get all nitty gritty with that one customer.
Yeah, like it's rather than just like window shoppers.
Yeah, and just like window shopping and like, I'll be with you in a minute, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and then when it's like an open shop, so you can't predict when it's busy and not going to be. So you could be there when. Like you're essentially need to be actually outfitting floors.
Yeah, so because we're just growing so quickly, but we kind of grew, and then obviously it went a bit pear-shaped, so we kind of backtracked a little bit, and then now...
Then that's what happens when you grow, and then it goes like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in. No,
Then you
it's
get
so
a wee
stressful.
bit like, no, actually, let's go for it again,
Yeah.
kind of thing. So, and that'll just keep on happening and
Yeah, pretty
and
much.
happening.
So yeah, looking forward to that.
Oh,
I've been
exciting
wanting the
times.
showroom for ages.
Yeah,
So,
exciting times. You'll need to tell us all about it on.
yeah, you can come
socials.
design it.
Yeah.
The showroom.
Wait for that bite. Well, thank you so much for coming
No,
on,
thank you for
Alex.
having me.
It's been a long time no see, but hopefully we've got some upcoming projects in the future. And thank you again to our sponsor, the Garage Conversion Company. We'll see you in the next one.